The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show. This is Cammie Baker coming at you, the queen of the jungle, the resident queen. And today I have the king of the jungle, and that would be Robert Santiago. I love me some Robert. We met about 10 years ago. He was the president of a chamber of commerce. He has run many groups. And over the years, Robert has become very, proficient in being a consultant to help people to come together, unity, connection, collaboration. Robert, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and what brings you here today.
Well, today I came here to invite everybody to know what I do and how I do it and why I do it. And basically what I do is I get called from a nonprofit organization or a company that's looking for profit. And I sit with them and find out where they're lacking and what they're looking for and what they need. And then I literally start going out and making those connections for them. And I have already a plethora of people, in my organization that I can then relate and get them to come and talk and say, we're willing to help these people. We're not willing,
Robert, you're being very humble.
Yeah.
You know thousands of people.
I know
you
quite a
have
few
the
people.
Respect of multicultural
Yes.
areas, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and reaching out to all over the country and all over the world. And all of these people have such respect for you. So when there's a company or an individual or a nonprofit, any of them, when they are looking to be connected, they know who to talk to, and that's our Santiago.
Yes, they do come to me, definitely. I help churches, I help businesses, or somebody that's even looking to make a connection as far as finding a job or finding public services. I definitely sit down and I help them, and I do happen to know quite a few people. I went to college in South Dakota. I lived in Arizona. I have great friends in California and Texas and Oklahoma. So I know quite a few people. Yeah.
Well, and as we've talked about, you are in 1% of human beings that I've ever met, and I've met thousands. I've been to thousands of networking events, tens of thousands of people. If there's a place that has a business card, bad lighting, and a 30-second elevator pitch, I've been there, and I know you have too.
Yes.
We've run them. We've done all of that. So I know that you are the guy in the know, and I've seen it. So tell me a little bit about some of the organizations you work with. Let's talk about Hope Dove for a second.
Yep, Hope Dove. I was working for Savers. Savers happened to be a thrift store. It started in Washington State. Many years ago in the 50s, and now they all have over 300 stores nationwide. And I was hired to be able to go out and meet people in the community and get the people to donate to the store where I was working in Nashua. And in 8 months, I collected 500 pieces of furniture, over 10,000 pounds of clothing, and etc. But I made a lot of connections there, and one of the connections was a truckload of clothes, and it so happened to be the pastor of the Church of Hope Dove, and he's Spanish, so we started talking, and I showed him the things that I've done. I started the very first Spanish-English magazine in the state of New Hampshire. I also started the very first networking organization called Latinos on the Move New England. I was co-chair of the Latino Caucus for the Democratic Party, so I was out there registering people and getting them involved. And, and I worked at the chamber, so I've done a lot of those things. So when they saw what I did, and they realized that I have a nonprofit organization, they took my number and then they started calling me to see if I can help them with their paperwork, make sure that their paperwork was in order, that everything, whatever they needed to fill out to maintain their 501c3 status was done, and I
So
did
you're
that.
multidimensional. Like
Yeah,
you do a
I
lot
do.
of different things for people, including now helping people get grants written,
Yes, yeah,
etc.
we're doing
So,
that.
so you put me in touch with Hope Dove because they were wanting to do something to really bring
Yes.
some eyes to their organization.
To the organization, yeah. It so happened that, God is always on our side, because no sooner than I started talking to them, you sent me an email, you started doing Mingle to Millions, and I knew this was going to be a successful organization, a successful operation. So I went to the Hope Dove. I said, we got to go see Cammie. And we went down to saw you and then explained to you what we were doing, and then we brought you in and to give us a hand and be able to get things going, and we did. You gave us the idea to start the car show, and then I went out and got some sponsorships for them, and next thing you know, there was in October, it was very, very successful. Everybody loved it.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful
Yeah.
day down in
Yes.
Regatta Field. The mayor showed up to give us a certificate and the whole
proclamation.
thing. Yeah, all that fun
yeah,
stuff.
That was good.
And now here it is a year later, and there have been just dozens of other people, other organizations that you've helped, and you've helped to partner and get sponsorship and collaborate. Tell us a little bit about who you would be looking for as far as an ideal client. Who's somebody that can reach out to you?
Well, anybody's an ideal client to me. Somebody that if you have a small little company and you need to make connections, you need to find out where you can get funds for your organization, or you need to make a connection to be able to bring some type of service to the community or to your organization. I'm the guy. Because if you don't know it and I don't know it, I'm going to find it. And that's what I do. I do that really well. I go out there and I find it. I help them. I help businesses with their marketing strategy. And depends, who you're marketing to. If you're marketing to the Hispanic community and you're in the Hispanic community, I'm going to walk you through this whole process. I'm going to bring people to your organization, to your store, to your business, so that they get to see what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you're doing it, and if it's a good fit for them. And 9 out of 10 times, if I'm bringing you, I know it's a good fit.
I've often said that you are the male Latino version of Cammie Baker.
Yes, I am.
But times
Yes.
10 and in a very
Yeah,
different way.
yeah.
Between the two of us, our mindset sees things differently. Example,
Yes.
I introduced you to Microsoft.
Yes.
And so when I introduced you to Microsoft, I thought, well, hey, here's my king of the jungle who can do an event here if he wants to do a networking event.
Sure.
That was my thought, because I'm always looking for venues to go speak at.
Yep.
Because when you want to be seen, be heard, and be the authority, getting on a stage is a beautiful way to do
Sure,
it.
absolutely.
But then you took that in a different direction. Tell us a little bit about the other ladies that you're working with right now.
What I did with that was, the most important thing that I would want anybody to take from here is that, at least with me, is that I met Microsoft a year ago, but I stood in contact with Microsoft. That way, it wasn't a thing that, who are you now? They remembered who I was, because I went, I visited, I talked. I kept saying, I got something for you, I have something for you. And that's exactly what happened. What happened was I went to top-notch scholars. I went to an office called Jenny Alvarez, and she does event functionings. She does event planning. And she then, we started talking, and I met Joanna there, and my daughter's 15 years old, and I thought, what a great program for my daughter to get into, that she could do public speaking, that she can definitely learn how to
Get
give back to the
confidence.
exactly, and give back to the community, So, and of which I truly believe in that.
course you do.
So then my daughter said, yeah, I want to try it. And as I started talking to Joanna, I realized that they had just a limited amount of funds, because, or even grants, or people coming to see the organization, because of lack of marketing it, a lack of anybody knowing what you do. And if they don't know what you do, they can't knock on your door. So the very next morning, I got up and I went to Microsoft and I said, hey, how you doing? Hey, Robert, how are you? How's everything? Yeah. I said, here's an organization I have for you. I said, this is what they do. Here's their website. I need you to take a look at it, and I'll have the director give you a call. And that's exactly what I did. And then I went right from there to the director, and I said, now you need to call them, and you need to get in contact.
Now, this is really important. I want everybody to hear this because the reason why Robert and I are friends today, the reason why he's so great at what he does, and one of my claims to fame is being able to bridge the humanity gap.
Yep.
Is being able to not just communicate, not just conversate, but collaborate to create the income, influence, and impact that I always talk about.
Absolutely.
So now that you've talked to Microsoft, whom you stayed in contact with,
Yes.
you didn't just get a business card
No.
and wait for somebody to call you. You contacted them, you stayed in contact, and I want our viewers to hear the magnitude of what you brought to the table because of that.
Yeah, because of that, we were able to get a van to transport the kids to college interviews, also to events that they need to go to. They got 8 computers, 2 laptops, tablets, and then they got like $2,500 cash, which was amazing.
It is amazing.
You know, because we didn't tell the kids that they got the van. We told them that we needed to go see. We were going to get some computer or something, and so when we got there, it was filmed by them and Mundo newspaper and everything, and they saw a little box like this, and when they opened the box, they saw the keys to the van, and everybody went crazy. So it was really an event.
So you got that on film.
That's on film. The whole thing's on YouTube. If you go to Top Notch Scholars of Lawrence, you'll be able to see the actual presentation and everything. And if you go through Microsoft, also they filmed it. They showed it, came out on the news and everything too.
Which also ties into what I talk about, and we're not talking about me, but about cause marketing.
Yeah.
That was a great cause for Microsoft to get involved with, and they were
Absolutely.
smart enough to market it. So when I work with my clients, when you and I are collaborating together,
Yes.
it's about using these causes in a way that is beneficial for everybody to also be able to
Absolutely.
market themselves.
Absolutely. It's again finding out what they need, knowing the network of connections that you have within your tool belt, and then utilizing that for a win for them and a win for the person that you're bringing to the table with that.
And when you met Microsoft a year ago, you didn't have any preconceived notion. I mean, I kind of sort of like, hey, maybe you can do an event, but you didn't. And so because of that, there was no judgment, there was no anticipation or expectations,
No.
just being friendly and being who you are,
Yes.
which is what eventually led to creating the resources, relationships, and revenue for this company.
Absolutely, absolutely, and they surprised me because I went in asking if they could sponsor the gala. We were going to give the kids certificates for their time spent at the academy, and I said, you know, eventually some computers, but if you can sponsor the event, and they went beyond what I thought, what I could have even have thought of. They went beyond that. So, you know, it caught everybody by surprise what they did for us. But again, nobody would had you not gone there, had you not brought me there, had I not continued having that relationship with them, and then seeing that this is a good fit, nothing would have happened.
And that's the thing. It's about creating those relationships. We don't know. I always tell people when you go to a networking event, stop looking for leads, and start planting your seeds.
Sure.
Because some people need what you have right now. If you're a roofer and a branch just fell through my roof 5 minutes ago, guess what? I need you right now.
Exactly.
But if a branch didn't fall through, I may not need you for 6 months or 6 years. So
Sure.
it's about planting those seeds so
Sure.
that when you are in the need, one of the definitions I've heard for networking is creating a relationship before it is needed.
Yeah.
What would be another example of networking for you?
For me, it's everyday people. Everybody that I meet. I mean, I don't approach anybody about networking. I always want to know about you. I want to do you a favor. I'm going to do you 500 favors so I can ask you for one. Because I know when I ask you for that one, you're not going to turn me down. And that's what I do.
And here it is 20 years later of doing all those favors for people. And today, the beauty of what you have done is the clients that you work with, the ones who are blessed enough to have your valuable time
Sure.
because you are in high demand,
Yeah.
when they have the opportunity to work with you, they can partake
Yes.
in all of those favors that you've put out Now, when it's time for Robert Santiago to step up and ask, when the
Yeah.
Godfather asks, you're kissing a ring.
Exactly. They're definitely helping me out. I mean, just think of all the people that I've helped in the organizations that I help. Let's just go with Hope Dove. Hope Dove, not only did we help them as a nonprofit with a car show, but they feed the homeless also. So now all of a sudden I have people reaching out to me in Lawrence or North Andover saying, do you know where I can get some food? Sure, I can get some food for you. I go out and get them the food and bring it to them. But I'm talking about box loads of food. People say, Robert, can you read these letters that I received that I don't know how to read English, or I don't understand what they're saying. And not only do I read it, then I'll go with them to either a lawyer's office or to whatever office they got to go, and I help them out with that. So anytime I need a person, I pick up that phone. There's somebody on the other line picking up the line saying, oh, Robert, whatever you need, because that's what I've always done.
Well, I know when you called me to come in for Hope
Yes.
Dove, I came in to help.
You
and,
do.
and it was something that I did for them that might have been a $10,000 consulting fee, I did because of our relationship.
Because of our relationship, yes.
And now here we are a year and a half or so later
And
doing
we're
business together.
Still doing business together, Yeah, definitely meeting people, helping. But that's what it's all about. Everybody wants to call it networking, but it's like you said, it's building relationships. It's bridging all those gaps. You know what I mean? It's for me. I can call my friend in Rhode Island because they may need. Well, I'll give you a perfect example. My friend Clark Lamboy is a director of a program in Rhode Island for children. But his wife is a lawyer at Brown University. I was sitting down with them talking, just having a conversation about a lady I knew that needed a car, and she went out and found her a car. And gave her, it was an older car, but they thought of that because of my conversation with them.
Cars, vans, computers, oh my.
No, that's exactly what happens. So it's really, everything is a network. It's not just going to this meeting and meeting everybody. Everything happens to be I worked at the ADT Security Services, and at that time in New York, I was flying up here to visit my daughter every other weekend. And believe it or not, I went to the bathroom at the airport, at MacArthur Airport, and I left an ADT card on the pinboard. While I was up here, I received a phone call. I met the man, a Spanish man, happens to be a Chilean, and we started talking. He liked me so much, I wound up putting 10 stores of computers, of alarms, of monitoring systems, everything. Now, anytime I needed that man, he came through.
I love that the whole thing about networking, I've started calling it communicating.
Yes.
Because the word networking, puts up all kinds of barriers. I don't
Sure.
network. I don't like to network. I don't know how to network. All these things that people say. Let's just call it communication.
Yes.
So you have a born skill of being a beautiful soul that people can see, and so you're just born with this. Personally, I was not born with this gene. I had to figure it out and acquire it. It is a skill that you can learn. Yeah. Share with our viewers a little bit about, because I know you've taught people how to network. You've been at events where you've been the ambassador and introduced people. What are a couple of things that somebody who says, I don't know how to network, I'm not a networker, I don't know how to communicate and conversate, what can we share with them to help them right now to be better at it?
Well, the first thing I do is you gotta have a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Not strength, but be able to go and shake somebody's hand. And like I teach my daughter, I go, Sam, I want you to go there and shake this person's hand and look them in the eye. And and don't look for, is this a right fit or not a right fit, like you always say, or is this person how can he help me? Everybody has a purpose. So if you just go around the room shaking hands and seeing who you like and who likes you, now you start building from there. You know, I had a very good friend of mine also in Long Island that he used to take the business cards, and what he would love to do was write your birthday on the back of the business cards. So he would write your birthday and have a conversation. And at your birthday, he'd send you a birthday card.
Nice.
You know, so now all of a sudden you go, oh, wow, you made it personal. You made it a thing that, man, he remembered me.
I love that, and not only for that reason, but I'm always talking to people about how can you create different conversation. What's a good conversation starter? Because, as you know, I really am not a fan of what do you do, what do you do, what do you do.
Yeah.
But imagine if, when you walked up to somebody, hey, what's your birthday?
Yeah.
Because that's a conversation starter. You could go in a million different directions. You might find out that their birthday is the same as your mother's.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you know enough about science, you can say, oh, you're a Sagittarius, or what a great conversation starter that is.
Absolutely. The birthday card, and you get the card, he writes it down, they talk about birthdays. You talk about anything other than what you're there for or what you're looking for. Because you know what you're looking for anyway, right? So I want to get as many as I can, because the way I look at it, the way I do things, I want to get as many cards with as many people as I can for them to know who I am and what I do, and I visit their businesses too. So I'm old style. I call you, I send you an email, I go visit you, I shake your hand. If you have a store, if I have $1, I buy a soda. If you have a clothing store, I'll buy a shirt. I go to visit you and you're talking about needing something, I go out and find it for you. Because what I'm doing with that is making you like me. And this is what people don't realize, that, you know, if I like you, I'm going to want you around me. We don't want anybody that we don't like around us. So you got to make it that they like you. And that's what I would teach anybody. Make it that they like you, that they understand, hey, I'm here for you too. What can I do for you? Business owners, everybody that goes to visit a business owner say, give me. Guess what I do? What can I do for you?
Yeah.
How you doing? What can I do for you? Tell me how I can help you.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to hearing that.
Yeah.
They're used to hearing, can you donate? Can you give me? Can you help me? And then all of a sudden, I go, hey, listen, no, don't worry about it. You need somebody to help you? I'm here. Don't worry about it. You need to move something there, I'll move it for you. Don't worry about it. They don't know what to do with that.
You know, it's so funny you say that, because there have been times in the last couple of years that I'll be talking to someone and I'll say, what can I do for you? And people just like, nobody ever asks me that.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what you, well, think about it. What can I do for you?
Absolutely.
I like to play the game of what can I do for them first?
Yes, yeah.
So if I meet somebody at a networking event, if I meet somebody communicating wherever I am, we won't call it networking, it's a dirty word.
Oh.
But when I meet somebody, I want to, what can I send them first? Can I send them a link to another networking event that maybe would be great for them? Can I send them a coupon because they love to go to sushi restaurants and I know a great one?
Right.
You know, can I send them a gift certificate to Panera's because they said it's their favorite place? In other words,
Yeah.
give, do.
I do. I get gift certificates. You know, you go to any business and you ask them for a gift certificate, they'll give it to you. Not a problem whatsoever. So because what are you doing with that? You're bringing business to them. I take that gift certificate, I give them out to other people that I'm trying to make connections with. And all of a sudden they'll go, oh man, that's really nice of you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And you know, and so it's always not in the back of your mind, you know you're going to do business with them. It's finding the right time to do the business. The right time to make that connection. But in the meantime, they're liking you. They're liking you. You're building that bridge. You're making that bridge so strong that it's never going to sway. It's going to stay nice and strong, and you're going to be able to cross it when you need to cross it.
And what you're talking about, going to these businesses or going into the situation to meet the person without judgment, without
Without
expectations. And this is something that I know working with people, I know for myself personally, that it's a matter of really clearing your mind, letting your ego go, not walk, even when we go to a communicating situation,
Yeah.
to walk in and not be like, I got to get a certain amount of leads, I got to get a certain amount of business, I got to meet. It's just walking in and being
You.
present.
Just being you. Just being you because they like you. The first thing that they do is like you before they buy any business or they make any business with you or they do any business with you. It's them liking you first. If they don't like you, they don't pick up that phone.
I think there's a lot of people who can't do that, Robert, because they don't like themselves first.
I agree. That's the word I was looking for. Before you can approach anybody, you got to have some confidence in yourself. You got to be able to know that, listen, I bring something to the table. You know, as small as it may be, I do bring something to the table. And it's being able to find that fit. You know, it's like, you know, you have the puzzles in front of you, those little blocks, and you're trying to get that square plug into the circle, and it's not going to go in. Well, it's having that tool so that when you do find the right one that goes in, bingo, it goes in. You hit it, it goes in. And that's the way I never go into a networking or an event looking that I have to make a connection. I always go as who am I going to meet and who am I going to get to know.
Well, and I don't know if you've read that part of my book where I talk about the difference between skunking and squirreling and sharking and being the spider. So you are the perfect spider in my analogy, because so many people are that shark. Dun, 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 going through the room.
Right,
Who's
right.
going to buy my product? Who's going to try my services? Who's going to sign a contract? And you can smell it and you can feel it and you can see it, and it's icky and gross.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say in 10 years of seeing you at least 50 events, boy, that's not you at all. You are the spider. You're making those connections
Quietly.
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 The quiet spider.
I'm the quiet spider. I'm hanging there, and then all of a sudden I swoop down. And I get them, you know. But, you know, the good thing about that is, again, they get to like me. If I walk out of there without doing any business, I'm going to walk out of there with a friend. I'm going to know somebody. I'm going to enjoy their company. You know what I mean? And sometimes by giving, you get back in return so much more. You know, so a lot of people don't want to give because they start thinking right away, oh, if I got to spend my time over there and I'm not going to get nothing out of it. You will eventually.
Well, I know one of my sayings is, don't be so worried about the company they represent. Be more cued in on the company that they keep. Because we have changed businesses. We've known each other for 10 years, and our companies have changed, but our company has never changed. So for those of you who are wanting to have someone that is a unity expert, a communication expert, someone who is the quiet spider, the king of the jungle. We at the Happiness Jungle TV show are super excited to have had you on the show today, Mr. Santiago.
Thank
you have been a blessing in my life, and you will be a blessing in many more people's lives as we move forward. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.